with episode
Here we are.
67. No, we're not here. We're off. With episode 67.
We're
Great
off.
way to start. Inane Blather. Luminous beings are we, because this is Inane Blather. And as I'm scrolling through here, because we have a different intro every time in terms of just stuff that I'm making up, but it all comes back to the simple fact that us two and our guest today are
Special
all
guest.
just, kind of...
Headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
I'm just kidding, because, Zack, you're not evil. But,
Yeah.
I'm chaotic
I wouldn't say
neutral,
Zack's-
but, you know.
Yes, yeah. Chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
You're like, I won't call myself chaotic good, But
I mean, sometimes you need to burn down an orphanage, but it's cool.
I was going to say
neutral.
chaotic neutral. Some men just want to see the world burn, et cetera, et cetera. The Joker before he was ruined by online right-wingers. So, what's
Volunteer
that?
fire
Show us.
starter.
Yeah.
The Joker?
Volunteer fire starter.
Oh, volunteer fire starter. Yeah. Hey, it's that's really just kind of emblematic of like neoliberal make work programs and stuff. It's someone's got to keep these jobs going. Of course, we all need jobs because we all live under capitalism, and otherwise you won't survive. So if there aren't enough fires for the firefighters to keep their jobs, you just got to start some. So it's all
exactly.
contributing to the economy. And then there's restoration companies, cleanup. It's an important part,
Window
almost too
smashing
big to
job
fail.
creators. Great band
Yeah.
out of Olympia.
Yeah.
Are helping the economy.
Exactly. And let's see. So I know it's a little bit late, but we wanted to get you on the show too and talk about Burning Man and talk about, other things, whatever, because we just blather on. How have you been, Zack? You're one of the only other guests that's been on the show. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm a returning guest. I feel very special.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Zack lost a bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost several.
This is court-ordered community service.
Yeah. Purgatory, some would say. Yeah.
I have been great, though. Fucking amazing summer. A lot of it building to the burn, and then been coming down from that. I had a camp out last weekend, a little decompression at an Equinox party yesterday, so keeping the community and the love going. It's been fucking amazing.
Cool. Well, that Equinox party, that'll be equally as confusing to other people as it was to me when this episode comes out, like November 30th. No.
Yeah.
Like an equinox, what does that mean? It's like, this is
what
that was
equinox?
September. No. No, that's cool. Yeah, and it's really been, I mean, we used to talk about the weather all the time. But it really has turned here for me, too. It's been very cold at night. I finally took my air conditioners out of the windows and put an extra blanket on my bed because if the dogs aren't in there, it's chilly. But that's the way it goes. I actually, finally, since it isn't insanely hot in the afternoon sun, my roses started coming back. I'm getting like a last bloom out of them, which is kind of nice. And I cut some and put them in a little glass container and left them on a friend's porch today, and ding dong ditched without the ding dong. I don't know, just left the roses there and then
ditched.
left. Yeah, I just ditched.
Secret rose leaf.
I just drove into a ditch.
Yeah, exactly. My hands were all pricked up from cutting these roses, and I was like,
It was a bloody
It was
mess.
a bloody mess. It was slippery, painful, I'm just trying to get some of us on screaming, but
I think we had our last real really nice day on Friday. It was super, super nice, like 75 degrees or something. And then now it was like the next 10 days of the forecast were rain.
Yeah.
So that's when it's kind of really turned. Yeah, like the first day of fall.
today I had a friend over and we were watching the Seahawks and stuff. And then I stepped outside at halftime or starting the grill. And I was like, man, it is perfect right now. Because it was like just exactly 70. It wasn't sunny and stuff, but like the temperature was perfect. It wasn't windy. It had kind of died down. He's like, wow, yeah, it is nice out. And 2 minutes after I said that, it started raining. I was like, oh, never mind. But it was just like a calm before the storm. But yeah, speaking of raining.
Yeah, nice segue.
So, Zach, you were at what may be a now infamous season of Burning Man, because it finally ended up like on the news, and was for like a little window, was a great little culture war thing, just because right-wingers love to hate on people who have fun. So, but it really brought to mind for me, and we mentioned it on the episode, that I was like, I guess I just don't know how Burning Man works. I was like, I did not realize what it's like, and we know people that go there, like yourself. And so what, okay. So first off, like, how long have you been going to Burning Man?
So this year was my fourth burn. I didn't go during the rogue years in the pandemic. 2018 was when I started.
People did do that, though?
Yeah, so like 15 to 20 some thousand showed up, even when it was canceled during the pandemic, and did their own thing. Kind of like old school, like it was in the 90s, with no org, no BLM permit, no restrictions, and infrastructure.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what got me, was I'd never really thought about it much, but like just the actual setup, like in terms of permitting or where it was. I mean, it was news to me that you even had to get a ticket to get into Burning Man, because I'm like, well, it's just like out in the middle of nowhere or on some sort of land. Maybe you have to have like a Discover Pass equivalent or something. But is that on? It's on federal land then, managed by the Bureau of Land Management.
It is on federal land, and it has a permit through the Bureau of Land Management for the event. To use the space under specific conditions. Like one of the 10 principles of Burning Man is leave no trace.
Sure.
Because everything that you bring in, it's a city.
Style.
Yeah. But it's not just a couple tents and some camping. It's 70,000 people building a city and then leaving. So the honor system is great, and that is an ethos that we try and uphold and spread through the community. But with anything that large, the margins of people that don't pick up all their stuff can end up being a lot of stuff. So there is
it doesn't take
restoration crew that stays for like a month afterwards, getting the playa back to good condition. There's the org, which handles the event, the ticketing, the gating, building infrastructure in the city for the man, the temple, doing all the administration and organization throughout the year to allow this event to happen. And there is, obviously, with a very self-determining, radically expressive culture, a lot of disagreements with how that org should be handled and where they're fucking up and what people want to see and what people want out of the event is a constant, loud, and very snarky discussion in the burner community.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. So what you're telling me is, as an anarchist, you go out there every year to prove your own ideology wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Like, once we get a couple 10,000, like everything just goes to shit. We can't do it. No, you can't trust people. I swear. No, no, but yeah. So I mean, the basic setup, right, is not because, especially when it came up in the news, because of the halfway disaster compared to what is expected, just with flooding and mud, and the fact that someone died. I mean, that's really what I think got it in the news. But so regularly, I was just gonna say, yeah, in the news, or when people are like, if you don't know what Burning Man, it's like a music festival without the music, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that does not describe it correctly.
No,
but
I mean,
so
there's a lot of music.
Sure, yeah, exactly. It's like just because there's no flyer with headliners, but it also doesn't seem like that. Like, I mean, there's these little, like you said, all the self-determination stuff, but there's like these goals of like building, right? You're building things when you're there. It's all like, and you said it's like a temporary city kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the idea is that you are creating a space and a container for certain kinds of experiences, for connection, community, appreciation, creativity. Like, some people go to the Burn for the music, and there is a shit ton of music there. I mean, there's 10, 12, like a national tour level sound stages out there with amazing headliners every night. There's amazing live music being performed, mainly at Crossroads on Esplanade. Very nice. But there's also... My friend works at the Black Rock Observatory and volunteers their time there, where they have all these telescopes out and do stargazing tours because you're in the high desert with this no moisture in the sky, and it's just beautiful stargazing. There's cool. Camps like mine that does daycare, so we're placed across the street from Kidsville, which is an entire block of the city geared towards families that are camping, where there is quiet at night and theme camps that do daycare, which is not something that, the media and everything talks about.
Yeah,
but there's entire villages of people coming and doing talks on experimental architecture and intentional living communities. There's all sorts of different religious and spiritual gurus and camps espousing their beliefs. And it's literally a city. There's anything you could find there.
That's cool. Just doing building a city and having different groups being accountable for certain things. It's really cool. It would be a project manager's dream or nightmare, depending on how you're looking at it. It's like, wow, so much potential. Yeah. It's either a waking nightmare or it's like, wow, this is how things can really work and people get everything done that they're supposed to be doing. So you were you were working with like the family area?
Yeah. So our friend, Allie, who started this camp with me in 2018, them being a music teacher and young childhood education career, wanted to
just
provide
being generally
something
awesome with kids.
Yeah,
amazing.
Everything.
And everything. No,
but the idea of the Burn is
best.
that you're bringing something to the city to gift, to give to the culture, to give to the community. And what we wanted to give was 3-4 hours, a couple days during the Burn when you could go off and do something and your kids were being watched. Yeah,
that's cool.
So we set up like a living room with toys and instruments and, have sign-ups, and it's just a very calm, relaxed, chill place to go out and experience the art and the culture and the people that are at Burning Man.
So, have you noticed over the past, I guess 5 years, right? When you started going, it's not, some people have been going for like decades or whatever, but have you noticed it changing for the better or worse, vibes getting different? People, that's one thing that I heard
after COVID
with discussions or even, just in terms of like socially, the types of groups that are coming, whether it's, if anything's getting corporatized or it's like rich idiots or something. All I know is that I heard Grover Norquist goes every year. I'm like, what is Burning Man?
Oh yeah, no, it's a mecca for douchebag tech bros.
Oh yeah.
petty millionaires. It's a millionaire's playground for like these art cars and everything that are these huge sound stages built on vehicles that can drive out into deep playa. It's a gift economy. So there's no barter, there's no exchange, there's no money. You bring what you want to give to the city, and it's all given freely, whether it be an experience,
not expecting
food.
anything. It's not barter.
Yeah.
Just bringing. Okay.
So in a society like that, someone who has a lot to give can end up with a lot more social clout.
Sure.
So people who come in with a bunch of money and provide showers and infrastructure for these camps and build these art cars, it's a system that is able to be exploited and for people to act like petty kings in their little kingdoms.
Incredible ego boost.
So there is a large mix of people at the Burn, from idealistic hippies to religious zealots to Republican tech bro libertarians. And you can wander around and find all of those different vibes if that's what you're looking for. But I feel like every Burn is different. Everything is... There's so much diversity and there's so much scale out there that, like, you will never see 90% of what's happening at the Burn, no matter how many stimulants you do and how little sleep you get.
Even if you see it, you won't remember it.
Yeah. If you want to do the whole, not sleeping for 72 hours, you might see a lot, but...
Yeah.
But wherever you go, anything you're looking for out there, you will find. So I can't say that I have a broad enough perspective to know the general trends of the culture changing, or if it used to be something that it's not anymore.
Right.
But the ephemeral nature of it in general and how it is so participatory and collaborative that every year is unique, every camp is unique, every experience there is unique, so it's hard to classify it into trends that way.
Well, that's good then. That is cool, because even with even if there are 10,000 douchebags there or something, I mean, the structure of what it is and what people are doing kind of lends itself to it's not as easily poisoned as it could be, like some other things. That is interesting. I mean, because even if, rich people are stroking their own ego by, look at what I did for everyone here. Look at, that was me, which, I mean, in a classless, moneyless system is about the best you can get. I mean, there isn't really a lot wrong with that. It's just recognition is currency, Even if that's the case, then so what? Yes, good job. You did that. You provided showers, or you had one of the coolest, setups and a stage and some sort of cool building. It's like, and then it's all going to be gone. See you next year, So that's kind of cool. So, okay, going back to basics then, like, so it's all out on federal land. Where is, I mean, I heard it so many times. This is California, right? It's not Nevada.
No. North Nevada.
Oh, it is
2
Nevada.
hours north of Reno.
Yeah. I was going to say, because...
Black Rock Desert.
Oh, Black Rock. Okay, yeah. Nevada. Yeah, because 90% of Nevada is federal land operated by the Bureau of Land Management. I think it's literally something like that. It's crazy, right? But
and I'm not sure if the event itself is on, but all of the roads that lead to it go through a couple different reservations, and it being on federal land and in unincorporated county land and near reservations and a large event. There are 6 or 7 different law enforcement agencies that all have representation there.
Wow. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, I bet they have lots of fun.
Lots of representation. Yeah.
The conversations I've had with some of, at least with the Nevada sheriffs, they do have a lot of fun out there. I met one of the sheriff deputies who'd been doing it for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
You know, one of the funnest parts of his summer to look forward to every year, driving a UTV out in the Black Rock Desert, hanging out at Burning Man.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. And in terms of law enforcement, it's like either you're going to have the setup and the authority per se to have like a great time every time, and you get to kind of experience Burning Man too and just be there, or you're some schlub who has to be there for ATF just looking around and not having fun at all. And just like I have to ruin
the DEA
at least
undercovers in the crowds are hilarious to watch.
Yeah. No one can ever tell, you know, when it's a Fed walking around with
fellow
his
kids or teenagers,
with his Boston Red Sox baseball cap out in the desert. But,
he's like, this is lit.
he's like, oh, actually, I'm so cool. I just look around. I'm like, boring. You know, I've been here so many times. But anytime you can just point them out because someone just wandering around as a Fed. Anything they do, it's like
it's very cringe when you do that.
Like, calm down, like you're being cringe, bro. No, but, so
hard.
it's all in it. At least you know you're going through federal lands and stuff like that. So, is one of the things? Is there just one main road, or is there like pretty much two sides to it with one road that kind of leads to this area, or is it a lot?
One way in, one way out.
It's one way. Okay, yeah. So, because I know that this year with the flooding and stuff, that was one of the issues. Is then you see the insane just line of cars and stuff like that leaving.
Which. Honestly, every year the media blows Exodus and Gate out of proportion. It is. You have tens of thousands of people coming in through 1-2 lane road into a flat, dry lake bed. So it is designed to be slow, to be careful. The speed limit on Gate Road is 10 miles an hour, so you're not picking up dust and things like that, and they pulse things on the way out, so they let out a group of cars onto the highway and then wait a half hour, let out another group of cars, so they aren't just a solid string of cars all the way to Reno. So going in that Gate Road is going to take time, that Exodus is going to take time. You plan to have your snacks and your water available, and it's kind of this lighthearted social party in the line waiting to get in.
That's the thing,
but
is that
designed to be that way.
Exactly. Seeing that, and like my first thought was like, well, it's like, of course it's like that. If that's the only road, then duh. I was like, as far as
what
I know,
else would
it's
happen?
like, is there just one road to where it is? Well, then, yeah, of course. It's like, it's just like imagine if there was just one road to leave a Seahawks game or something. It's like, there's 65,000 people.
I know how
there.
that feels.
It's like, and
it feels like there's only
more than one
road.
road, and it's still pretty bad. So then this year, I mean, how much? Because it's nice to know, like, how much is just the story of the week. How much it really affected people. I mean, how much of the TikToks of people sitting out there, oh my gosh, this is what it's like at Burning Man right now. It's like, was it just taken in stride? Was it really pretty difficult, or will it stand out in your memories of, in particular, of different burns?
Yeah. So this was definitely the most weather affected.
Sure.
Like last year was dry and windy and hot. Like dealing with the sandstorms, like the burn that I was supposed to do last year on Friday
Darude
ended up getting canceled.
There. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But the rain, because it's on a flat lake bed that's all like clay silt, there's no drainage. So once the water hits it, until that evaporates, it is just a mud pit.
There's a lake bed. Yeah.
But the rains came on Friday, and unless you're a weekend warrior, you're planning to stay until Sunday morning or Monday anyway. So things being delayed 2 days, It's not like people didn't have food. It's not like people weren't supplied to be there.
Right.
The only thing that changed was you couldn't get around the city because that clay just cakes on tires. So whether you're trying to do a bike or a car, like it's just impassable.
Yeah.
There was a large experimentation of what kind of foot covering would keep the clay from building up on your shoes.
Okay.
Sock ended up being like the top one because it just
Really?
wouldn't stick to the cloth on the outside.
Sock. Okay. Still probably your feet
Alright,
probably
okay.
feel pretty heavy, but it works better than other things.
Yeah.
See, I just rocked knee-high platform boots the whole time and just dealt with it. But,
Yeah.
I'm more of a minimalist.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's about the aesthetic anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, you're not gonna stop me from wearing these, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I brought them.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, because you're saying so many things are like built on vehicles. I mean, because it's all coming in and then leaving. So I guess that would make a change. I mean, nothing's going to be moving around if it's on the back of a flatbed truck or on these trailers that people are hauling in, probably, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, a lot of modified buses.
Yeah.
Like one of our favorite art cars is the Playa Piano Bar, which is a K-loader, so giant scissor lift used for loading planes.
Wow.
That they built a dueling piano bar on that drives
my
around.
God.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, it was just parked during the rain. Like the art cars that were out on Playa, like some of the big sound stages and stuff, they just stayed where they were out in deep Playa because you don't want to get stuck and tear up ruts and do that when the Playa's soft.
Yeah. Even
so
if
yeah,
they
you
could, the things that could travel around, you don't want to be doing that because you're gonna ruin,
tear up the roads. Yeah,
it's like I used to go mudding, and it's like if you wanted to have a mudding thing, you could really tear it up, but that's not what you want.
Sure. Yeah. Just spraying mud everywhere.
Just
all
getting
over
some
everybody.
deep ruts,
Yeah.
getting it up on two wheels every once in a while, taking a turn.
And there were people trying to get out as soon as it started raining, just thinking that even though the gate was closed and they not that they could stop you from leaving, but the BLM could give you a ticket for driving when there was a no drive order. But it's not like they were kidnapping people and locking a gate and not letting people out or anything.
Yeah, that's because it's not happening in a city. They don't feel like they can, just have federal agents kidnap people. It's like,
that's next year.
This time, BLM meant something different when you're out at Black Rock. So because that main road. So I mean, it's how far out is it paved? Like, is it dirt for like a long
the event
ways?
is on a dry lake bed that is next to a 2-lane highway. So you drive up that 2-lane highway and then you pull off the highway
paved up
onto
to the lake bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then it's like 3-4 miles of gate road into the city itself. And that, when the rains came, it being at the south low end of the lake bed, ended up with a small river running across it that cut out a bunch of stuff, so they had to reroute Gate Road. So yeah, it definitely had some effects.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I noticed the weather.
It is funny though. Yeah, as soon as I heard the story, I was like, just the way that it's presented, I was like, oh my God, oh no, we have friends at Burning Man. And I just left Natalie's and was listening to our good friend R.M. Brown.
It's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
Yes, our Lord and Savior. And it was his first story on that Monday. And I was like, and immediately I'm like texting and driving. Natalie, did you hear about? Did you hear about Burning Man? Yeah. And I was like, I hope everyone's okay. And then the fact that R.M. Brown, it was honestly one of his funniest episodes because he kind of just made jokes about Burning Man or how he would be a terrible burner or something, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it can't be too bad, right? It's just good old. If something like that gets on CNN, they're just gonna have a nice little freak out. Like they will. So when it happened, I mean, was it disappointing, or was it just it's like, well,
Not
it's unique
for
every
me.
year. Yeah, for you personally. I mean, yeah.
Everybody burns differently. My whole thing
Put that
is,
on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Everybody burns differently.
You're like, when I burn, it smells like sulfur in the air. And you got little red eyes.
old deodorant and body hair.
No, but what for you it wasn't too bad. It was just
No, so I solve problems, I fix things, I help. Like, that's what I do in any of the spaces that I am in. As
and there was
you
job
do well
creation
know.
there. You're like, sweet problems.
Yeah. So yeah, helping keep tents dry, keep infrastructure in, pull all the electronics out from the rain.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I set up like a solar and a generator system, and the assumption is it's going to be, dry and windblown the whole time. So you're not really worried about moisture until it happens.
Yeah.
So redoing all that and trying to create like paths through the camp so that people could continue to walk without creating huge mud trails. Like keep the kitchen infrastructure functional so people could cook and everything. That's my shit. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Fixing shit, solving problems, teaching the people trying to get out how to turn the 4-wheel drive on in their brand new Lincoln Navigators.
Oh my god. Yeah, one of those things.
So you want to go to drive mode with the joystick? Yep. No, the other switch. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's right here. And no, yes, while it's pointed at my tent, actually you can turn off your automatic headlights, just so you know. It is possible. I can show you right here.
So much. There's a truck right across the street that would just start up and just have its high beams shining through.
I have complained about that in different contexts so many times because it's like, it just happened. So we, here in town, we run our movies in the park. During the summer. It's the best. I love it. It's free movie out in the park. And, we get 100, 150 people there on a good night and stuff. There's little concessions. We have a big projector and a big sound system. But then people will park up at the top of the park. And, it's cool. It's even, you could sit in your car and watch it, or you could bring your chairs down in there. But then they start up their car or turn it on, and their headlights are directly on the screen, right? And it just reminds me.
What the fuck?
Yeah, when it's like, even if you're just doing it and you're leaving and you're going to back out, it's only going to be a few seconds, but it's like, it's still, we're watching a movie here, Like kids are watching Lightyear, and
respect for the theater.
Watching that movie?
Yeah. And it's like, it just reminds me every time too of years ago working with U-Haul, where I realized that people just straight up don't know because things are automatic, where I'd be like checking someone's lights because they hook up to a trailer. I'm like, all right, your left turn, right turn, your brake. All right, now turn on your running lights. And they're just like, every time, just directly back to me. No, they're automatic. Yeah, I know. Can you turn them on, please? And it's like, I don't know. And I'd have to walk up and turn people's lights on to check it and then turn it back off. They're like, oh, that right there. And it's like you can buy a car, have it set on automatic, and literally never touch your headlight control for the entire time you own it. Like sometimes.
Not even knowing it exists.
Yeah. It's just like, that's great because it's safer now that there's so many automatic headlights, but at the same time I'm just like, oh, I feel like a crotchety old man, like, you used to have to do this yourself and you'd actually know what you were doing in your car.
Back in my day, I
can only imagine.
Yeah, you're
like
looking like that and sounded like that.
Perfectly, truck, just eye level high beams would be frustrating, but you'd be out, you'd be burning. You take it as it is, But,
for sure. Yeah.
I would guess
that would go on my manifesto of petty grievances for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But, I don't know.
Burning Man is a great place to test out first world problems.
Dead air. Yeah.
So then back to some other basics because I had so many questions and stuff. I wasn't even aware that like I had said on the podcast and earlier when we mentioned it, I was like, you have to buy a ticket to go to Burning Man? It's like, I thought it was just this annual event. People show up. And I knew that it was kind of this from the ground up collective sort of effort, but that's why I thought, I mean, if you get there, you get there. But is it like per car or something? I mean, where does that money go?
So each person has a ticket.
Oh, shoot.
Each vehicle that comes in will need a vehicle pass.
I can't hear you, Zach.
Why? Why would you not do that?
Let's see here. Let's try this again.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to my witty retorts.
Yes. Oh, man, you said the funniest
man.
fucking thing. He's like, it's past. It's too late.
Yeah. So every person that comes in, every adult needs a ticket, and every vehicle that comes in needs a vehicle pass.
Okay.
The ticket is $475 plus applicable state taxes, and the vehicle pass was $150, I believe, maybe $175.
Okay.
So with the Nevada entertainment tax and all the other state taxes and everything, like for me, for a ticket and vehicle pass this year was right over $700.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because like you said, I mean, there's all this BLM managed stuff, but that's like county land or something like that. So Nevada gets to wet his beak.
Yeah. And it's, an entertainment ticketed event in Nevada that has specific entertainment taxes being the state that it is. So,
they're like, we really need to scrape for that entertainment money. So if there's something, we got to make sure there's some taxes on there because we don't get enough entertainment income. No,
it's Uncle Sam Davis Jr.
Oh,
in Vegas.
Wow.
Nevada. Yeah, thank you.
And that joke is why
the American people are tired of women.
Okay, so I mean, that just is why.
So
I was like, where does this go?
Goes to the
Who's
org.
It for?
The Burning Man organization, which is a LLC 501c3. I'm not sure exactly what they're filed under, but they are the ones who organize everything. They handle. So like, there's a division called the Artery, which handles all the art installations, the placement, the fire safety liaisons between emergency services and the artists for if they're going to burn their work, the planning, the spacing, the going out and setting like tie downs. DPW is the Department of Public Works for the city that handles like road maintenance, things like building center camp infrastructure. The Man, the Temple both have their own build crews. The Temple Guardians are like a security watch liaison group for the temple itself, which is this intentional sacred space that's very important in the culture. And there are all these different groups of people that have these very busy, intricate jobs that are taking a month, 2 months off to go before and after the event to create this space and allow us burners to go and have an experience of being able to do what we want, follow our bliss, explore all these different experiences and people and connection in a place that is safe and curated.
Set up for it so that you don't have to worry about that stuff when you go there. Yeah, I guess, so there's a Burning Man organization. That makes, I mean, just doing much smaller events here with the Chamber of Commerce, like I've mentioned. I mean, Movies in the Park is one of the smallest ones, but we had our big annual thing and stuff, and just working with the nonprofit board and setting up all the basics, like where like vendors can be, how many people can be there, porta potties, blah, 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 blah. And, or basically closing off a road here and there. It's like, it's a lot of work. And so I imagine even for something where it's like, everyone's coming and doing their own thing. It's like, well, you do need to have an infrastructure in place, even in the middle of a dry lake bed. There's still an infrastructure of safety measures.
So for 2 days, the porta potties couldn't get pumped because they couldn't drive the pump trucks on the roads. and being camping with a lot of people who were medical professionals, that was the largest worry. Was sanitation. Sure. When you have an entire city of people walking through stagnant water, and then you're not getting your waste removed, that can be iffy.
Really shitty. Nice.
The American people.
No, it's good.
But yeah, the infrastructure that the org provides, I think, and I do not represent the majority of burners. I am not the most veteran. I am speaking for myself. I appreciate what the organization does to allow the structure to explore the freedom that you have in the city without having to worry about maintaining your own safety, emergency medical evacuation.
For sure.
It's funny because we'll just side note, I have once again started watching the trial of Tim Heidecker, and we mentioned last week.
I almost watched that the other day, or started it. It's like 4 hours long.
It's I think almost 5 hours, but yeah, the just their descriptions of all the basics, because I mean, blah, blah, blah. In the On Cinema universe, Tim Heidecker set up the Electric Sun Music Festival in Apple Valley, California, and it led to the deaths of 20 people. And
20?
And just God. Going over, even in that joke, you know, of a trial. I mean, it's all really realistic, but his lack of planning for those basic things, and like when one thing went wrong, just the fact that an ambulance needs to get there and have an entrance here and be able to get in and out there, and there has to be some power over here or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, I was thinking of the trial of Tim Heidecker. It's like people should look into the Electric Sun Music Festival so they know what not to do. So you don't have the deaths.
That's why we look to Firefest for, you know?
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
You go. Yeah. At least with that, it literally was only just rich kids. So, I mean, we didn't have to have too much empathy or anything. We could just hold analytical facts like, okay, here's what went wrong with the festival. Here's what could have went even great. No.
Yeah. I was going to ask Zach, are there like 10 principles to Burning Man, or are there's like, what, do you know them off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, not all 10. I tried to do this the other day, but I would be happy to read them.
Yeah, I would love to hear them. I think that I was kind of telling Doug a little bit about it, but I'm like radical self-reliance and crap like that, you know, like something like that. I would like to hear, like, because I think that Burning Man, it is really cool, like what you're saying, like, what does happen? Like thousands of people come, and there's a city with like minimal infrastructure, but I think for the most part, people do have such a great fucking time, like, and being reliant on yourself and like trusting all these other people and all this kind of stuff that comes together with being able to have, I don't know what kind of guard down it takes, or self-confidence, or all those kinds of mixtures of things. It seems like a really, really cool thing. Kelsey has wanted to go for a while, and she said she might go next year. And
I'd be happy to have her.
It must be, quite an experience. It seems incredible from what I've heard.
Yeah, literally, it sounds trite, but it changed my life. Got me out of Othello. I started a new career. You know, it's
that's cool.
But, it seems like amazing. Mm-hmm.
So, what are these?
The
principles,
first principle,
and then the vice principals.
Oh. And then the regional managers. But the 10 principles are just ideas to try and centralize the ethos and the culture around what people are trying to do there. First one being radical inclusion, that anyone may be a part of Burning Man. They welcome and respect the stranger. No prerequisites exist for participation in our community.
Cool.
So, the inclusion of all, even if you don't agree with them, even if I think you would really enjoy wandering around the city. The people that are there is, a hurdle to participation by getting out there, having everything you need, getting set up to do that. and the intentionality that creates in the community of people being there, you can have a lot of good faith discussions with people of different viewpoints, which is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, sure.
But
Yeah, and all the
there.
worst ones, like flat earthers, they can't afford to go, so whatever. No.
Well, yeah, I spent 2 hours at 3 o'clock in the morning one night after the rains, just talking with an IDF fighter who had never been to America.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Wow, yeah. And it's like, hey, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have some Twitter spat, you know? It's like you're all in this together. You're all out here.
Yeah, 2 humans sitting in lawn chairs in a muddy road.
Yeah.
Just being humans.
Cool. Radical inclusion. I like that already.
Radical inclusion. Yeah.
And the second principle is gifting, that Burning Man is devoted to acts of gift giving. The value of the gift is unconditional. Gifting does not contemplate a return or an exchange for something of equal value. And that's going into a place where everyone is eager to provide. That, you know, people make wreaths of handmade jewelry, necklaces are a very popular gift, stickers, personal experiences,
Inane Blather
energy work,
podcast
yoga
t-shirts.
classes.
No.
Yeah.
I'm here to
There
market.
is,
No.
It's kind of the trash that's left
They're like,
behind.
that's not gifting. Well, you know, I'm giving it out, but we might get a few subscribers. No.
Yeah.
But you have everything from these artists creating, you know, multi-million-dollar sculpture installations to, you know, somebody who brought homemade brownies for the Thursday when it's really hot and is handing them out in the street. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
this whole culture of sharing, communal living, that everything there is for everyone.
Yeah.
It's for Sharon. You know Sharon.
Sharon, yeah.
She's always
I know
at
Sharon.
Burning Man.
You know, that's actually something I say at this is coined by me. Like, you know, I always bring party favors to parties, and people want to indulge. Say, like, did you bring any? Well, I say it all the time on this podcast. Did you bring any drugs? And I'm like, yeah. And like people want to have some and they want to pay me for it, but I'm like, no, drugs are for Sharon. You know Sharon.
Yeah.
And we're like, she's like woman sitting in the corner of every party, just like super fucking high, like on every kind of drug. So yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody
but
wants to say that, just give me credit for that. 'cause
it's
I like
where
it. Drugs are for
Sharon is not Karen. So she's the opposite.
Yeah, Sharon is not
caring, but
Karen.
Sharon is
Yeah.
not Karen. Nobody wants Karen. Although, with our terms of radical inclusion, Karen may attend.
Yeah.
She might not have the best time.
As long as she has
Yeah.
Sharon.
She's not going to have fun, but, you know, she can be here. She can do whatever she wants.
She will have fun if she meets Sharon.
Yes.
So that's all I'll say.
The next one is decommodification. In order to preserve the spirit of gifting, the community seeks to create social environments that are unmediated by commercial sponsorships, transactions, or advertising. So, like, people will cover the U-Haul logo on the trucks they bring in. They will tape over their tech company on their hoodies as they wander through the city. But people out there creating art are not handing out their business cards and trying to build their brand. There are
Which is why I made that joke
influencers
earlier. Yeah,
and
that was a
everything.
joke.
Yeah, but that is not representative of the majority of people you're going to run into. It's this idea that we're there to have fun. It's not about what's going on in the rest of the world.
Right.
It is escapism. It is intentional community. It is...
It is unfortunate
told me
that it is radically different from the rest of the world through the act of decommodification, because all we have is commodities. But go ahead.
What Zack said, that you call it because you don't like to say you're like going back to like your real life or your normal life. I think Zack said you go back to like your default, like the default life or whatever, like the default world, and then you get to have these moments like festivals, like where you get like a chance to be what I would say seems a lot more real, like the more of an intentional, a choice, especially like Burning Man for sure is one where you get to live in a world that feels a lot more real than what you go back to. Sometimes go back to like your job and all this shit that you hate.
Escaping quote unquote reality in order to be more real.
To be alive.
And then the idea is to bring those feelings, those connections, that community that you've built in those specialized places and in those emotional containers out into the default world. Like me and my friend Josh, who camped with me this year at the Burn, who volunteers and works gate for the city, was putting up a art installation for Luminata here at Green Lake. And they're out there sharing the art that they've created with the community for free. And we were talking about how coming in off the Burn, that's what you want to do. You want to spread this idea of what you can create and how intentional you can be about your interactions with people in your everyday world.
Well, bringing it out into the default world is like you were saying that how, you know, it's not trite that it changed your life, you know, that's bringing it like on your soul itself. You know, bringing it out, just having a little mind change like that, or the perspective, and you can use that, even just using that different perspective, doing the same things in your default life or your default world, you know, is a big change. You know, that's why propaganda works, folks. No, I'm just kidding. But I was
Burning
looking
Man
for this
is
one
when
earlier.
no car.
Dang it!
Drugs are fun.
That's what I was like. God dang it. Okay, yeah. But you want the burn to spread like wildfire. No, it's like another one. The American people are tired of women. They need dad jokes. Okay, what's the next one?
And that brings us to radical self-reliance.
Okay, that's what
we encourage the individual to discover, exercise, and rely on their own inner resources. And that spreads to, like, you're going in, you are bringing all your own water, all your own food, or you're collaborating with, you know, people who are coming for that. But it is not... It being a city of gifting, you could come in with nothing, wander around, survive the week, have a great time, and we call those people sparkle ponies.
That's a nice.
They exist.
That's a really nice term for
obvious
moocher.
reasons.
It's like the nicest.
But the majority of people are out there surviving on their own and getting something out of being everything that they need.
Yeah.
And providing access to the community.
Having that self-reliance, I mean, not only is it part of one of the main tenets, but it's like that just contributes to how it could feel life-changing or something, just through the process of helping your self-confidence. You know, in like that, I can
going out
do
and
that.
experiencing,
Like,
you know,
just
you're
relying
in a
on
harsh
yourself,
environment, and you're in a new situation, and being able to provide everything you need for
that's got to
yourself.
leave a kind of a mark on
knowing
you
that you're
of,
capable of being that.
I did it. You know. Oh,
for sure.
Is Zack frozen again?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You were frozen through my whole monologue, so I didn't know.
Yeah. Nobody cares, you know.
What is this? Just a couple guys having a conversation? Who the hell wants to listen to that?
No.
I've done cocaine. I know what two guys having a conversation.
And it's like, and if you are being a sparkle pony, you know, I mean, it's like, it's possible you could do that because of the decommodification gifting system that's there. But like, it's not that you're breaking a rule. It's that because you're not living by the principles, you're not getting as much out of it as you could be. You're only hurting yourself here, you know, because you're not experiencing that basic part of Burning Man, right? Is what I would imagine.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And that brings us to communal effort. So our community values creative cooperation and collaboration. We strive to produce, promote, and protect social networks, public spaces, works of art, and methods of communication that support such interaction.
Boring.
The idea, yeah,
Communal? Ugh! Slap my salami. This guy's a commie. No.
You can do that at Burning Man.
You can slap your salami, or you can be a commie.
Yeah.
there is a
Little of both.
prevalent culture of what we call shirt cockers. That are very proud people that like to walk around in nothing but a shirt.
Oh,
So yeah,
what? We're the worst possible. I can't even do that at home for
It's
more
called
than
the Donald
5
Duck.
seconds. Yeah, like I hate it.
there's a parade
Yeah.
every year. It's great.
That's funny.
Shirt cocking.
But so communal effort. I mean, and that almost goes without saying.
Yeah.
That's all goes hand in hand with this stuff.
Yeah, everybody coming there. Like I was a stagehand for years, and I loved the work building these spaces, building these events, putting all of this energy into providing this experience for others. But there was always this separation of crew, talent, audience, that were these very defined roles. And when I went to Burning Man, everyone is crew. Everyone is building the city. Everyone is performing. Everyone is watching. There's no separation.
Yeah. It's
It's just an amazing feeling.
classless society. Yeah.
yeah, it's like no hierarchies.
Yeah,
like
it is a moneyless, classless
anarchist.
society.
So
yeah.
much. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, just so organically red pilling these tech bros. Eventually,
Yeah.
Suddenly they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
When you're sitting
I'm an
in the back of, a
anarcho-communist."
2005 Dodge Caravan that's turned into an anglerfish doing whippets with, oil barons, it's
Yeah.
a very interesting experience.
Yeah. Not only did I
Yeah.
learn radical self-reliance and gifting, I also did whippets with Grover Norquist. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Money well spent.
And I did
yeah.
acid with Chris Rock somehow.
Yeah. I know Nick Kroll was at Burning Man a couple years back and said it was fucking dope. So he was like, at first I went in all like, I don't know if it's going to be like kind of whatever,
Yeah.
like cliche
Dingy
or whatever,
hippie.
trite. But then he's like, by the third day, he's like, I was on roller skates or whatever, like wearing whatever, just like some random weird outfit. He's like, man, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was such an incredible
That's
time.
cool.
Yeah. That
Wow.
it's
There's the Black Rock
even if you
roller
go in
disco.
cynically. Oh, nice. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a camp that brings a roller disco platform and sets up skates.
That's amazing.
For everybody, so you can go and roller disco in the desert.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, now if only I could roller skate. I would think that was even cooler.
Yeah.
It's like,
Last
watch, I
time I
can
tried roller
accidentally do the
skating,
splits
oof.
over and over again. Are there more? Was that the 10? Is it 10?
There are.
Okay.
Yep. So civic responsibility, obviously. Just the idea of, maintaining the city and, staying within the bounds that we're allowed to do it again. Leave no trace, pack it in, pack it out. You're in a pristine wilderness. You want to leave it the way you found it. There are no trash cans. There is no waste dump. It's, you handle all your own shit.
Yeah.
Especially
Next is
Especially when the porta
participation.
potties aren't getting
That's what I was
emptied. Gotcha.
it's your duty. Yeah.
Yeah. Your civic duty.
I'm well practiced in jug life. It's a way of life at the burn,
Digging it.
The community bonding you get at 10 a.m. when everyone's waking up and walking to the porta potties to empty their piss jugs is it's a great morning ritual.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
Shitter's
piss
full.
jug
Yeah.
o'clock. Tells everyone's morning.
And then next is participation. Everyone there, you are there not as an audience member, you are there to participate. It's, everything. You wander, like you're wandering through the city, and down this block, and there are people with megaphones, acting like carnival barkers in front, going, "Hey, you want pancakes? Come in and eat pancakes with us." Do you want to spin a wheel to see what you have to do to get a pickle?
Sure. Yeah,
Classic,
it's like once you're out there,
classic, normal, everyday life.
yeah. That sounds a little too default to me, but
Bunch of normies.
But what do I see it every day. I am a storage facility manager, so it's just typical. But
I spin a wheel, get a pickle almost every week.
But it's the idea that you are encouraged, and it's this societal expectation that you say yes and
right.
It's
I was going to say
that's an entire improv theater group.
Yeah, and that's something that
so it's exhausting. No,
for someone like I don't know, like me or someone more introverted, where it's like just participation in general, like can just suddenly feel like no, I don't want to. But if you're out there, it just builds on all of those other principles, and you're already out in the middle of a dry lake bed with everyone else is yes-anding. I mean, it's like it would be impossible not to. It'd be the best part of it, and it would just be another way for someone who isn't an improv troupe style person, to have that kind of change from default. You'd step right into it and realize how much you like, just talking to random people or
spinning for pickles
or bowling for soup or whatever.
Or
you
walking down
do
the
out
street
there.
and a fur-lined UFO drives up next to you and asks if you want to ride out to a dance party at an art piece, and why not?
You say yes. Yeah, what are you going to be like? No, I got something to do.
And then at 2 a.m. when you try and go back and you realize you didn't bring your bike with you and you're 2 miles from your camp, and then you end up with a 4-hour walk home with 16 different detours into other experiences. So it's a wonderful time.
I bet. I bet it's incredible.
Well,
and the last one is immediacy. Being present, experiencing the moment, being there.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how you get to have, I'm sure, like you said, Zach, it like changed your life and like has helped, of course, make you the person that you are. And it's because you like take those things seriously. And like Doug's saying, like you're in an environment where people are like kind of guard down, like really like leaning in to those principles and like what you can learn, like all of those things we're talking about, the growth you can go through, I'm sure. And even just like, how long are you there? Like a week and a half or something, depending on, I don't know, people stay there.
So the shortest I've ever been is 12 days. The longest is 14, but that's unusual.
Oh, wow.
It's usually a week or so.
Yeah.
Well, you can really do some growing and some learning and some, especially on some of these drugs, if people are doing mushrooms or whatever kind of stuff, you can really skip through a bunch of years of painful therapy, expensive painful therapy, and like really be filled with like love and gratitude and like confidence and all these things. And you can really, like you're saying, bring it back to this default life and, be all better for it. It's really been so beautiful. I know Zack had such a great experience. Some of the things like this last Burning Man officiating a surprise wedding and all these really beautiful, incredible moments, just because people are so open to it there, because everyone has this really, or not everyone, obviously, whatever, but the vibe of it is all
anyone
those
who's living
tenets,
by those principles while at the burn.
Yeah.
It's going to bring, and what? It just goes to show on that small scale that the elimination of a class structure, the decommodification of society.
This is what the left wants.
I mean, it is a foundation for people to reach their actual human potential as a person, like all of that, being able to live in the moment, being able to say yes to things and discovering things about yourself, doing new things, things that you wouldn't do in the default world. It just means that you can do those things, but you don't. And like being out of society, because as the Joker says, we live in a society. Being outside of that is what is necessary for people to reach their potential.
Yeah. So what does that say about
exactly.
society?
Yeah. It's like, well,
yeah.
That's
outside the economy.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. We don't live in a society.
Yes, good job,
We
Natalie.
live in an economy.
Yeah, and that's why gifting and not bartering is not an economy in the real world, in the default world or whatever. It's like breaking out of that at a systemic level is what humans should be doing. It just goes to show that, without...
Socialism is when no car?
Yeah. In a communist utopia, as Marx said, in the morning, I can raise cattle. In the afternoon, I can fish. And in the evening, I can philosophize. I can do whatever I choose. That's not a direct quote, but it is paraphrasing.
I thought you were going to say in the morning I can empty my piss jug.
I could do animal husbandry after emptying my piss jug having a pickle. All right? So
I won it fair and square.
Yeah, it's like, no, that wheel is not rigged. I am that good at getting pickles.
Well, everybody gets a pickle. It's just what you have to do.
Exactly, it's what you have to do. Yeah,
I had to get spanked. It was,
had to.
No great
It's a real
loss.
win-win. Yeah. Yeah, it was like
Might have rigged the
choose
wheel
your
a
own.
little.
Choose your own adventure wheel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's been over an hour. That could be perfect, I think. Thank you, Zack.
Thanks so much, Zack. Wow, that was really
Happy to be
great
here.
to hear. I love to hear you talking about it. I know it has like people think of like cliches or whatever. They think of Burning Man and all
I
this
sure
stuff,
did.
and I'm like, hell no. Yeah, like like the people that I know that have been to Burning Man are like the coolest fucking people. It seems like such an incredible place. I've only been to this small festival. That's my one tiny experience with people being like really cool and stuff. And I'm like, I bet Burning Man. Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Like
Maron.
really. Like, I mean, you got a roller rink disco thing in the middle of the desert?
Yeah.
Come on.
So, like,
Come on.
Brody Fest, that would be
Yeah.
like a sound camp at the Burn.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's like way. Yeah, there's only like 400 people there.
Yeah.
So not like 70,000.
Wow, yeah. Well, we will all strive to live by those
Bring the
tenets
burn
when
into
you
our life.
can in default. Yeah. Spread the burn. You can feel the burn,
Yeah.
but Bernie Sanders ain't running anymore, all right? So let's just
Yeah.
bring it back to the original, talking about Burning Man, or the 2011 movie starring Jack Black called Bernie. Kind of underrated. So whatever you want to.
Those are your
That's
options.
the option.
Yeah.
So, well, I love you, Zack, and
I love you,
Love you
Zach.
too.
thank you for coming on. And
Yeah.
shout out to Aaron Brown.
Our Lord and Savior. And everyone else who listens, we love you.
Okay.
Toot,
All right.
toot.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, love you guys. Bye.